candidates joining me this morning. Again, we are continuing because we are in the lead up now to the THA elections on Monday, the 25th of January, which is right around the corner. We're just a few days away. And with me, it's Abby Taylor, who is the PDP candidate for Blackrock, Wim, and Spring Garden, Tobago. Joining me as well is Joel Sampson, who is also a PDP candidate for the Canaan Bonaccord area in Tobago, the electoral district to be exact. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Good morning.
Abby, are you here with us? I'm not hearing you, Abby.
Yes, I'm here.
Good morning and welcome.
All right. Your volume seems to be a little muffled. All right. Well, let's get on with it. I'll start with you, Mr. Joel Sampson. You are the PDP candidate for Canaan and Bonaccord. Tell us what your plans are for your electoral district should you win the seat.
Good morning. Good morning again. Good morning to Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning to Canaan, Bonaccord, Crown Point. Well, I have quite a few plans when I win my seat, not if, when I win my seat. And I'll just state a few for you this morning, because if I have to go into it, we'll be here all morning talking about these plans.
Right.
So I'm just going to touch on a few points. All right. Firstly, the Crown Point area. We need some cleanup and beautification. We need a proper garbage and waste disposal plan in that area. We have to have predictable cleaning schedule of the roadways, drains, and public spaces. We have to have MOU with businesses to upkeep and clean the surroundings. Example, the area known as the Avenue. We have to have plans for green spaces, the Heritage Park area known as Cowdong Highway. That area would be used as a wellness park and social, cultural, and entrepreneurial hub. Also, we have to sign our streets and historic demarcations. In the area of infrastructure now, just a few points, just touching on. We have to have sidewalk and pavement refurbishments and upkeep plan. We have to create bike lanes and sidewalks for visitors and residents. We have to do some lighting in areas that need upgrading, the unlit areas. For example, there's a street from the airport linking to Crown Point Hotel and Fort Milford. That area needs to be well lit so persons can have a sense of security and safety while walking that area in the night. The drainage and eyeshore points, for example, in front of Cocoa Reef, Milford Court, where we have flooding, that has been issues that has been there for years. We need to maintain these areas so that the commuters can access these areas when there is torrential downfall. The Pigeon Point area, the entrance to Pigeon Point just before Swallows Beach, that area needs to be revamped. The roadway is in a mess. So we are going to look at that area first and foremost, because Crown Point is the epicenter of tourism. And you can't promote tourism if your area isn't upkept. So we have to look at the roadway there and get some infrastructural work done. Tourism and heritage projects. From the airport to the beach, we are going to create a footpath with locker facilities for suitcases. So tourists, if they decide that they now come off an aircraft and they want to walk to the beach, they have an area where they can store their luggage and have that access to get there. Also, we will include a taxi and rent car hub within this area. The Heritage Park, we have to include a living museum to house photos and live demos of the area's heritage. These include dirt oven baking, farine production, Beneball production, etc. There's also the Pilgrim Beach facility. That's another historical site. What we are going to do there, I'm proposing that we firstly clean up the mangrove, create a boardwalk within it, also repair the roads because the roads is in a mess, have it well lit, have security presence, also create a facility with a mini marina like, so you have a bar and bistro. So persons can take their families there on a weekend. They have some area where they can dine and you feel secure because we'll have police presence patrolling the area. And also in the sector of education, just touching on education a bit, we want to re-implement the trade centers so that we can create a more self-sustainable youth, because a lot of young persons do not academically inclined, give them a hands-on and they can get it done. So we have to re-implement the trade centers. Also, we have to create literacy programs so that persons who are, well, I don't like to use the term illiterate, but those who can't read and write well could have access to a program where they can improve their skills in this sector.
And Mr.
There are so
Sampson,
much.
Mr. Sampson,
Yeah.
I want to bring Abby Taylor into the conversation as well, and that's a long list of things you want to do there, and we'll speak more about it in a short. But Abby, you're the candidate for Blackrock WIM Spring Garden. Tell us what your major plans are should you win the seat in that electoral district.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. Because my area is so wide and so vast, development will have to take place in incremental stages. What I can identify so far is my village in particular, the village of Marysville. We have been starved of any kind of recreational facilities. So one of the major things on my agenda once elected would be the implementation, the construction, and the completion of a pavilion at our sporting grounds here in Marysville. In the district of WIM, we have been seeing a construction of a sporting facility for the past 15 years. And I think if we are truly serious about development and sports development on the island, facilities must be completed in order to achieve such development, right? So we would see the completion of that sporting facility under the banner of the PDP. In other areas, because I said my area is so large, in other areas, we will also see, for the Glen Road, a lot of the citizens or a lot of the residents have been crying out also for a recreational facility. Now, we see where these things are used as political ploys. So they would have started a few weeks ago to the construction of a pavilion or washroom area at the Idlewild field. We are saying as a PDP that it would be completed under us, and persons, sportsmen and women, little boys and girls would have a facility where they can go and practice and fine-tune their craft. In Glen Road also, we would also like to have back our community centers, because our community centers have not been open. This is pre-COVID, right? We would like to have back our community centers where young and old can meet and foster relationships and build better community ties. This would also take place in the Sampso Hill area where our community centers are locked up. Now, my flagship project would be for the Blackrock area, where we would see the revitalization of our cultural sector in that area, because Blackrock is known as a fishing community. I don't know if you are aware of our Heritage Festival. They have the pulling of the seine and everything like that. Everything cultural basically comes out of Blackrock. So we want to meet with persons within the community, because there are so many creatives within that little area. We would like to meet with them, have consultations with them, because the PDP doesn't ever want to implement something that the community isn't comfortable with. Right. So we would like to have consultations with them in how we could better develop our creative and a tourism and add to the tourism product that is Tobago, and create economic drivers within our communities so that persons wouldn't have to go far and creatives would have a space. And visitors alike, because Blackrock is nestled between two major hotels. Visitors would have a space where they could come, they could breathe, they could relax and take in entertainment. So those are some of the highlights, and those are some of the projects that I would like to see implemented under the banner of the PDP.
And well, I know we could continue talking for the rest of the morning on the program, but unfortunately we don't have that kind of time. But I'd want to wish you both the very best on Monday coming up for the THA elections. Good luck with your plans, and we'll continue doing the work that you are doing. All right, so joining me this morning via Zoom is Abby Taylor, PDP candidate for Blackrock, WIM, and Spring Garden electoral district in Tobago. Joining me as well was Joel Sampson, who is the PDP candidate for Canaan Bonaccord in Tobago, as well as we lead up to the THA elections on Monday, the 25th of January. We're going to take a short break and come back with much more. Stay with us.